Gender-based violence is a crisis in South Africa. And violence isn't just about physical violence. It can take many forms. Emotional and verbal abuse are forms of gender-based violence that cause tremendous harm without necessarily causing physical injury. And the people who commit these crimes aren't strangers. They are people we know, and we all have a shared responsibility to prevent this violence from happening and to respond properly when it does. The harmful ideas we hold are the root cause of this violence, because bad ideas lead to bad behavior, which is what makes women and children unsafe. Like the idea that a woman is meant to satisfy a man's sexual urges and that men are entitled to women's bodies. Or how we glorify behavior some consider masculine or manly, which can include being aggressive, violent, or holding power or control over women and girls, including demanding and the taking of sex by rape. Women and girls in working and learning environments often experience sexual harassment, and the harassers often go unpunished or are protected by those in power. The Constitution protects everyone's right to dignity and to be free from harm. This means we all have the right to be free from violence and to have control over our bodies. The government has to help us have these rights, which they are still failing to do for a number of reasons. For instance, many victims of domestic violence, sexual abuse, or rape don't even report it to the police because many people have heard that the police aren't sympathetic to victims and don't believe that they will get help or that their abusers will be caught or successfully prosecuted.
When perpetrators get away with violence, it means there's no rule of law. It means people cannot live safely within their homes. People are afraid within their homes. People are afraid within the schools. People are afraid within universities. If we look at what happened with Uyinene, she was raped and killed in a post office. And people are afraid now to even go to post office by themselves alone. There was an interesting question that was run by another organization directed at women, and the question they asked was, if there were no men in the whole world for a day, what would women do? And most of the women answered that they would just take a walk in the night.
And even where there are arrests and there is a trial, the questions that women face during the trial from the police and lawyers are often extremely traumatic and result in secondary trauma. And these questions often aren't even relevant to the trial. So here's what each of us can do to foster a safer society for women and girls. We need everyone to be made aware of the harmful ideas which lead to violence against women and to reject them, and hold our families and friends to account when they perform violence against women and girls, because it's not funny and it's not harmless. We need to call out and report violence against women and girls and stop it where we can. We must make sure that we support and not judge the survivors of violence. Employers, schools, and universities need to foster environments which prevent sexual harassment and to punish harassers and those that protect harassers when it happens. We have to keep pressure on the government, making sure that resources are properly allocated so that the police, health professionals, prosecutors, judges, and magistrates are properly trained, so cases can be properly investigated and prosecuted, so survivors get medical and psychological support, and offenders are punished and rehabilitated. If we all address the root causes and demand accountability for violence against women, we can create a safer society for everyone.